into prison in handcuffs.
Jamie, it's a big deal for me. You know, I'm a single mother. I'm trying to make a living and support my kid, you know, and I need this income. And it's hard because they don't give us the money that we deserve. They don't give us insurance. You know, we don't have sick days if my kid is sick. I have a kid with health issues, you know. If she's sick, that means I have to stay home and take care of that, you know.
Do you have workers' comp?
No.
You think they should be prosecuted? They're supposed to do it.
Yeah. They're breaking the law right now by not doing AB 5. We won that AB 5 bill, and they're not giving it to us. They don't want to fight it. That's why they put this prop here, and that's not right. We deserve equal rights and equal pay. We're not asking for extra money. We're asking for a living wage.
All of us are essential, not expendable. And when we see billionaires spend $200 million on a proposition so that they can continue to exploit all of us, endanger all of us, dare them to sell masks and safety gear to the drivers, making them money and profits, we say no to that. Let me hear you all say, hell no, Prop 22. United States of America, everyone in the entire world that has been touched by the impact of gig work understands what is at stake. I am a registered nurse. I work for the city of San Francisco right here where we are standing. And I recognize the threat that gig work, if Prop 22 passes, we are all at risk, and that is not a euphemism. When someone sends me a text message to say, we need your help in the emergency room, my rights could easily be stripped. The rights we are fighting for every single one of us in this street to have rights and the union, Uber and Lyft and DoorDash are paying hundreds of millions of dollars to take that away from us. And we will not let them. We will not let them take our rights away. We will make them follow the law. AB 5 was written by a union organizer in representation of us, working people. But that's not what's happening, is it?
My name is Daniel Menzies. I'm an Uber Eats courier. And during the pandemic, they had record business, record profits. We're taking a huge risk, playing in, working the pandemic, working in a forest fire, and yet our wages are lower than they've ever been before. They try to say that they're protecting our right to choose our own schedule. We already have that right. It's up to them whether or not they're going to do it. I mean, we should at least have the same protections that the people who make our food have. And that's what I'm here fighting for tonight.
Aguilar. Say hi, kids, my grandkids. I'm a U.S. citizen, and I'm originally from Downey, California. And I've been doing Uber and Lyft for about 5 years now. But things have changed a lot. During the pandemic, it was really bad. The only ones making money were these people right here, not us, these people. We have to make some laws that'll protect us and everybody here. So hopefully we get something done today. Hopefully they take us in consideration.
How many hours a week do you have to work this day?
When I first started, I used to do 8 to 10 hours a day. But now, even if I tried doing that, it wouldn't even equal to half of what I used to make. There is no safety right now. It's just whatever we do. They didn't even give us any gloves. They didn't even give us any nothing to protect our car. It was just bad. It was just really, we were on our own.
When you finally leave, after folks have gotten off the sidewalk, take a right onto 10th Street. Thank you, everybody.
My name is Tommy Efterswald, and I'm an Uber and Lyft driver the last 4 years. And I'm here because the Proposition 22 is going to make it impossible for us to get sick pay, unemployment, benefits. We're never going to be able to fight for a fair wage. So over these 4 years, driving has, made me go from 40 hours a week to 60 for the same pay. And also, when I started, I took 25% of my rides and came down to as much as 70% of my rides. And all the passengers I talk to, they say the same thing. They want to make sure that we get a fair wage. So I drove here from San Diego to make sure that we can tell all the voters to please stand with the drivers. If we really want to keep Uber and Lyft around and also make sure we can pay our costs, so please vote no on Proposition 22.
It seems like they're making a lot of money. They have a lot of money to spend for this proposition.
Yeah, basically this is a pandemic, right? And what do Uber and Lyft do? Instead of helping us, sending us sanitizers, helping us with masks, they go against us with $200 million. They could have really gone a long way to help all the drivers out there who's struggling right now.
My name is Gilbert Prieto. I'm a UPS driver, a shop steward at UPS Teamsters Local 431 Fresno. I've worked with the company for 7 years, and I plan on retiring with them. In order to maintain a good job, we must fight back and vote no on Prop 22. The hardworking men deserve way more than to be classified as a gig worker. These major corporations got to where they're at today because of the workers, us.
My name is Erica Maggetto, and I've been a Lyft driver for nearly 4 years and 10,000 rides. I'm so honored to be here today with my fellow drivers from across the state. When I started driving years ago, I thought rideshare was an okay gig. As time went on, pay cuts became more frequent and maintenance costs began to mount. I was forced to work 62 hours a week just to squeak by. Can't repeat that. And I speak for myself and hundreds of drivers I know when I say I'm sick of being bullied by these companies. Instead of rewarding those of us who've worked for Uber and Lyft for years, they cut our bonuses. Uber and Lyft deactivate drivers and discard people in the name of profit and in the interest of the corporate bottom line. Drivers like myself become homeless while Uber and Lyft become billionaires. And when I say drivers like myself, I mean, I know what it's like to feel thrown away like broken tools in the Uber and Lyft toolbox. My partner and I have been housing insecure for nearly a year now. We've been bounced between sleeping in our car, at campsites, and at Airbnbs. And it's been a real struggle. We work hard for these companies and all they do is bully us. They steal our lunch money and they violate our basic labor rights. Prop 22 would legalize the bullying. It would allow gig companies to continue to mistreat and underpay us. But we're not going to let that happen. We won't stop fighting until we win a living wage, benefits, and a voice on the job. Thank you to my fellow drivers who came all the way from San Diego. Thank you to the drivers that came from Los Angeles. And finally, thanks to my comrades from San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, and Sacramento. Prop 22 is a threat to not only my life, but to the lives of all drivers and the safety of our community. We are workers who deserve basic labor protections. I'm fighting for my rights and I'm voting no on Prop 22.
I'm Gennaro Balcher with ILW Local 10, and I was working through a temp agency before as a hopper. And I know it's unfair wages, and there's no health care, and there's no conditions where you get PPE that are proper for you. And I just know that we need to vote no on Proposition 22 because that is unfair treatment to consider somebody not human, basically.
In New Orleans?
In New Orleans, it is just terrible that they're still going through the same situation in New Orleans now, that they're only getting like 11, 19 or something now. and they're still not getting any PPE. They're still not able to get health care. They're still not able to get anything because it's a right-to-work state. And these temp agencies is just running things down, keeping people marginalized. Basically, that's what they're really trying to do. They just keep people marginalized and keep them into their place. And you have to rise up and say what you want and demand what you want and demand what is needed for your family. Living wages with health care benefits.
These companies have spent close to $200 million promoting this greed. App-based business models are innovative. Exploiting workers is not. Prop 22 exploits workers. Brothers and sisters, I ask one last thing before I wrap it up. I want Uber to hear the strength of the working force. On 3, we're gonna yell, vote no on Prop 22. Vote no on Prop 22!
Next with us, we have Roger with TWU showing some love.
The vibe that I see here is, I see union members, I see workers, I see teachers, I see drivers, operators, I see janitor and hotel workers here. For any corporation to tell us that we are not workers, I say, how dare you? How dare you tell us that we are not workers? How dare you tell us that we are not fit to acquire something as simple and basic as health care, as affordable living wages? How dare you try and tell me that I'm not a worker working 5, 6, 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, 70, 80 hours a week? How dare you? That's right. The one message that I would say to these corporations, if they ever try to shove this down our throats, is I would say, you know what? Pay attention now, you guys. Shut the front door, because you are not walking into the House of Labor with that garbage. Make some noise, everybody, and let them know where we stand.
I came all the way driving from Southern California to here on my second visit to San Francisco. My first trip was when I was organizing the airport workers for SEIU. What can I say? This is, a very, I'm very honored to be here with all of you guys, and I guess everybody feels the same way too, because we're not here only, to just say no on 22, but also, for people to, for Uber and Lyft to see us, how very well organized we are together when we are all united and we leave our differences somewhere else. Our differences, they're always gonna, try to attack us in different ways, not just by our nationality, by our color, our culture, our religion. Everything's respected. We all have a different point of view, but right here, we are here for one reason, and our reason here is for Uber and Lyft to really see how, how our organization is, and that we have the people's power.
Yeah, people's power!
This is the people's power. And when it comes to people power, we don't have no misunderstandings, or, our rumors don't go into a different level, because we are all on the same page, because we're all here.
Right? Yeah.
One of the things is that, we all respect all type of work. But our work right here has to be respected. That's the reason why we're here in front of them, to let them know that we are here in this fight, and that everything that started, for us to try to make this fight, it was because of the other drivers that had, incidents, who had passed away, and Uber never did anything for those people. Just like I say, if they will cooperate with us, we won't be having no more middle class levels, and we will be going through a lot of necessities the way that we go in a daily basis. If they will be able to help us, just with a little piece of help, our communities in the middle class will be at least a 2 or 3% a little bit more higher, so that we can be living in a decent community. One of the other things maybe most of you guys noticed, or a lot of you guys noticed, that this pandemic hit us unexpectedly. We didn't got to be able to apply for unemployment. I don't know how many years Uber and Lyft have been operating. So imagine all those years that they haven't been able to cooperate with the community so that we can be able to have at least more funds to be able to protect the people who are, those who are not protected because of greedy companies like them. In this pandemic, we were all busting our asses out there, just like myself doing Uber Eats, while they were at home, sitting down, just looking at us, or the way how we were busting our asses out there, and they didn't do anything, not even to help us. All the money that they had spent, they should have used it, at least, to come up with, with an idea to create a fund for all the Uber and Lyft drivers. They're conscious about them not helping us, even on the pandemic. The only help that we received was the pandemic unemployment. Where does taxpayers just like you and everybody else here, just like media, because we're all taxpayers, not because of them. I'm not here, to say anything against what I have to say, but I'm just here to give my personal point of view, because I'm living through this on a daily basis. First of all, I'm a worker before anything else, and that no one is going to take that away from me.
My name is Brandon Smiz, ATU Local 265. I'm here to support no on Prop 22. I'm a bus driver, VTA. It would affect our job because the money is not going to the county, and I am a county worker, so no funds.
I'm Quentin Laurier. Yes, I am. Local 192, Alameda County Transit. I'm here fighting for the low income, not the high. They continue to take away from the privatized people in California. And they continue to take, never giving. And it's become a nuisance to our lives. It's time for change, and change now.
Estamos en esta lucha con todos los compañeros conductores de Uber y de Lyft, ya que nos encontramos en una situación en desventaja con ellos, con los servicios como servicios médicos, como un salario justo. No tenemos un salario justo, nos han estado quitando de nuestro trabajo, nos han estado quitando parte del dinero que ganamos trabajando, y nos han estado perjudicando de alguna manera. No tenemos ningún beneficio como trabajadores, no tenemos nada, no tenemos médico, no tenemos ningún tipo de protección. Estamos peleando y luchando para poder tener lo que cualquier otro trabajador tiene aquí en California, y que nosotros no lo tenemos.
This deceptive ballot measure will allow them to keep exploiting drivers like me for years to come. Prop 22 could keep our wages as low as $5 per hour. As deny us benefits and rights we badly need, like unemployment, workers' compensation, paid sick leaves, and more. I know how important those rights and benefits are because this fight is personal for me. A few years ago, I was in an accident driving for Lyft, and I needed shoulder surgery. I could work for 8 months. What was I supposed to do to care of my family during this time when this company did nothing to me for help me? Yeah, they don't do nothing. I did no matter how hard I worked for or how much money I made for this company. They abandoned me then, just like they abandoned all of us when this pandemic began. I'm still driving and I'm worried about my health and health of my family, but what choice do I have? And now I'm forced to see Uber and Lyft deceptive advertising every time I open the app to work. They are trying to pressure drivers and passengers to support their initiatives, even though it won't be helpful for us. Their behavior is shameful, but we know that we have power.
Uber and Lyft, they are the experts on exploitation. I just can't believe we're all out here today. I can't believe that these companies are forcing us to come out in the middle of a pandemic to demand the rights and the protections that we deserve. The rights and protections that we've earned. But I'm here today to tell these billionaire corporations that they cannot write their own law. They can't take our democratic process and pervert it and twist it into something that works just for them. This democracy will never work if it does not work for everyone. Yes! My name is Carlos Ramos and I am a Lyft driver, but I'm also from Bakersfield, California. I joined this thing yesterday. Central Valley in the house? Central Valley! And growing up in Bakersfield, we learned some things. We learned about hard work, and that's what this fight is all about. It's about hard work and about these companies up here saying that our work isn't real. Saying that we're not real workers because we work on an app. What do we have to say about that? Are we? No! We are real workers. We deserve rights. We deserve protections. I'm going to tell you a little story about my grandmother. My grandmother was a farm worker in the fields in the Central Valley almost 50 years ago. She was a farm worker and she was an organizer. She was fighting a fight that's very similar to the fight we're fighting today. The farmers thought that they weren't workers. They thought that they didn't deserve the things like bathrooms, that they didn't deserve cold water in the fields, that they didn't deserve the right to organize. And 50 years ago, against all the odds, she won. She won through people power. She won through workers standing together and demanding the rights that they deserve. And that's what we're here doing today.
My name's Eve. I'm a former Uber driver, also sidecar before that, and bunches of deliveries. The reason I wrote like freedom to pay paid minimum wage, freedom to drive sick, freedom to be liable for accidents. So like that's kind of what it is, and that's not a freedom. That's like we're being coerced into something that's really not good for us. And a lot of times, because we can't collectively bargain and we can't organize, we don't talk to each other. We're out on the road, we're individually driving, and we're getting all these messages in our apps saying, that 22 is going to be good for us. And that's why drivers support 22. They're just mistaken, They have these myths in their mind that they're an entrepreneur. But if this were to pass, it's going to create a permanent underclass, and then they'll see that they're not entrepreneurs and they're not going to become CEOs from doing this. I just see like the people who get paid the most are unionized workers. They pay their dues. The whole thing that you hear on Twitter and everything of the Yes on 22 people is like, oh, the unions are trying to get rich. But at least the unions are tasked with helping. That's their mission, is to help the worker. Even if they're not perfect sometimes, or even if they're a little bit corrupt. This is a private corporation. Like, their only commitment is to their stockholders. And to profit. And so how is that better? That's not better. That's much more scary.
It's Ronnie Simon. I've worked for many gig companies, including Uber, Lyft, Handy. I've had too many instances where I've had my money that I was supposedly earning taken away, had my tips stolen by the company. I was lured into the company being told I was going to make $19 an hour, but one day I only made $6 a whole day. So that's why I'm here today. Came all the way from Los Angeles to send a message to Uber and Lyft, let them know we are not going to stand for it. We're going to make them follow California's labor laws, and we're going to make sure that people vote no on 22.